you got a scholarship from the JPA or PWD, no, the JPA or PSD,
Yep.
right, to go to Canada.
Yep.
And that scholarship was to do political
science.
Political science.
4-year degree.
A 4-year degree. Okay. Now tell us about it. You turned it down.
I did because I got a better scholarship from the University of Hong Kong.
Okay.
More like the University of Hong Kong decided to give me the same scholarship when they heard I got JPA scholarship.
Right.
Yeah, and it was to do journalism, which is something I'm a bit more passionate about.
Okay.
I like both subjects.
You like both. Okay. But was that the only reason? I mean, did you feel that? Did you feel elated when you got? Did you feel one? You know.
I think I felt happy when I got JPA scholarship. Definitely, it was a blessing, especially for parents who can't afford to pay for their kids to go abroad. It's a great opportunity, but I think I'm one of the rare few who managed to get it, and that itself was kind of a miracle. But then it comes with consequences, right? So when you get the JPA scholarship, you have to work for the government for a certain amount of time.
Yes.
And mine was for a period of 6 years.
Okay.
But you know, that is kind of difficult when you're at this age and you don't know what's going to happen to your future, especially when you leave Malaysia. You don't know what's going to happen there, who you're going to meet there, what opportunities you're going to have. To be kind of tied back to certain places.
Right. What are you saying? What are you saying, Temily?
It's just, I mean, you have your future planned out for you, basically. You have to come back. You don't have the option of kind of, you have a job waiting for you. And in a way, that's great. You have job security. Right. But I guess for the field that I'm looking at, like journalism, sometimes you want to...
Okay, you need to gather experience and come back.
Yeah.
Right.
Depends on, of course, it depends on your field.
Okay.
And...
What were your concerns about coming back to work in government?
Okay, cannot say these things.
You can leave out the specifics. I mean, you can just say your concerns generally.
I think it's very hard. I think, this issue ties back into what we were talking about before, about the whole race issue.
Yes.
I think a lot of the reason that held me back from deciding for sure that I wanted to come back to Malaysia and work is because in many ways I feel like a second-class citizen. My country does not accept me as an equal here.
Well, it doesn't have a box for you. Okay.
Yes, it doesn't have a box for me. And also, you know, the whole Bumiputra rights issue and everything, it's there. It hurts and it stings. And, you know, I have other friends back in Hong Kong who are from Malaysia as well, who are working there now, older friends. And they themselves don't want to come home, and I think that is a huge factor. They say
so
that
your friends don't want to come back?
No, they say, in terms of job opportunity, there are lots in other parts of the world. But at the same time, you know, in terms of quality of life, everyone loves Malaysia. We all want to come home. We love the food, we love the people, we love the culture. But at the same time, there's this whole thing of, well, you're not really, really welcome here. You are welcome here, but you're always going to be different.
Right.
And that's a huge factor, I think, definitely.
Okay. So what do you think is the prime factor in our brain drain? How do we reverse that into a brain gain, basically?
I personally, and this is just my personal opinion, if we were to kind of abolish this whole Bumiputra thing, a lot of people will come home. A lot of people will come home because that kind of emotional satisfaction of coming home to your roots and being accepted as an equal is worth more than all the money they can earn outside.
This is the million-dollar question. Temily, are you coming back to Malaysia?
I don't know.
So Temily, maybe a good question for you as somebody who has been offered a scholarship, a public PSD scholarship, and not accepted it, and taken another scholarship, and who's...
I need to be a bad guy now, aren't I?
Oh, no. Temily, you're an example of a Dan Lion, a Chindian, or an Indian, or a Chinese, or whatever box that you've ticked, who has gone abroad and who's done quite a bit of work and whom we would like to see back here. So at least Talent Corporation would, in order to justify their existence and their KPIs. So what would bring you back, Temily?
You know, I'd love to be back, but I think the biggest hindrance is this whole race factor. You know, sometimes I feel more like a member of a community, you know, a citizen of another country. I feel more accepted there than I feel here sometimes because of this whole race thing. So I think two things that will make me come back is abolishing this whole difference between Bumiputras and non-Bumiputras. And the second thing is probably the ISA, abolishing the ISA.
Okay. Do you think these things are going to happen?
I hope in my lifetime. I hope and pray in my lifetime. I know my parents wish that, and I hope that for my kids. I would love to raise them in Malaysia for sure. And in addressing the whole brain drain issue, I think it might be fun for you to go figure out. This is an idea for your next episode. Love drain. I have many friends, a few friends, who have left the country because they fall in love. It could be to a Malaysian, but with the whole thing where if you fall in love with a Muslim, you have to convert. In order to keep their own faith or to not have to convert into something they don't necessarily believe in, they move abroad and become permanent residents in a country abroad.
Right.
And they can't come home. So that's another
Oh my gosh,
drain.
yes. This is very interesting. So they're going abroad because they feel oppressed here.
Yeah.
They feel suffocated and
They have no freedom, basically.
Right, so these are Malay friends probably
These
talking
are
about...
Malay in love with a person of another race.
Oh dear.
And it's Malaysian law. It's not... Yeah, it's Malaysian law that kind of creates the situation. So
It's a Malaysian...
they can be two freely practicing religious people of different faiths abroad.
Yes.
One can stay Muslim, one can continue being whatever the other one is.
But not over here.
But not
So
over
the
here.
whole issue of apostasy. And there's a whole issue of actually a gigantic religious bureaucracy, which is growing as we speak. And did you know, Temily, that there's a Muslim divorce every 15 minutes in this country? Yeah, it's on SMS. Basically, the Sharia court system is overworked.
Wow.
And they have to work weekends now.
Wow.
Just to cope with the
Crazy.
caseload. And there you go. But I suppose that's another reason not to come back.
Yeah. It's really sad to see people they have to leave their families behind, leave away everything they know, everything they're comfortable with. It breaks my heart to see it, really. To choose the one person you love and want to spend your life with, or to choose everything else that you love. It's a very, very hard choice, and for both parties too.
Well, heartbreak.
There you go, your next episode.
Well, folks, Malaysian heartbreak, brain drain, Chindianness. It's all in this episode if you haven't been watching. Goodbye, good night, good luck.
Goodbye.